So, over the past 3 years, I've helped send thousands of text messages to both consumers and businesses. And some of the scripts that I've used have produced response rates as low as 10%, while others have consistently generated 80% response rates. What I've noticed over time is that the highest performing scripts all share one thing in common that most people are not doing. And in this video, I'm gonna break down that exact script structure so that you could book more calls or sell more of what you have to offer through text message. Before we get into the script itself, there's a few rule of thumbs that we need to keep in mind. First, your message has to be concise. If your text shows up on someone's lock screen and it looks like this big block of text, it's simply not going to get read. As a general rule, your text should stay under 80 characters and communicate one idea at a time. Second, your message needs to be sent as an iMessage. If you're still texting from a green SMS phone number, well, your leads are immediately going to recognize that as a business texting them. And when that happens, you lose trust points right away and oftentimes get ignored. If your campaigns aren't being sent via iMessage, it becomes extremely difficult to achieve response rates above 30%, regardless of how good the copy is. Third, your text has to feel like it was written by a real person. It should feel as if you took out your personal phone, added their phone number, and typed out the message yourself. This is what builds trust and ultimately gets people to respond. And with the amount of AI generated content and slop and spam people are exposed to today, it's more important than ever to clearly signal that there's a human on the other side of those texts. I'll show you exactly how to make your messages feel handwritten in just a moment, but for now, just know that using iMessage will be the only way to accomplish this, as it won't require you to add elements like the opt-out language that sounds spammy in your text messages. Now let's build the best performing SMS script together. So unlike most SMS campaigns that you've probably written, this one will be separated into two texts sent back to back. The first text that you send needs to do one thing only: tell your lead who you are. This is where most people tend to overcomplicate things, even though the simplest structure works best. So the format looks like this: hey prospect name, this is Tristan from company name. And if you're targeting a younger audience, you could even replace hey with something like yo or what's up. The goal here is to text your leads the same way you believe they normally text their friends. One advantage of using this exact introduction is that Apple could recognize it and flag you as a Siri suggested contact to your lead, which may result in your contact photo being displayed if you have one. This could significantly increase trust before you've even said anything meaningful. With just that first text, we've already signaled to the lead that a real person is reaching out, even though you and I both know that this could clearly be automated using a tool like SendBlue. Next, we want to delay the second text by exactly 5 seconds. With the right tool, this allows typing indicators to appear on your lead's phone. And when a lead sees those typing dots, it reinforces the idea that someone is actively typing the message in real time. That's another trust signal. It may sound like a small detail, but this is often the difference between a message being ignored and a message getting a response. Our data shows that text messages are usually seen within the first 3 seconds of being delivered, which means that those typing indicators are going to be noticed. Now we move to the second text, and this one is even more important than the first. No matter what industry you're in or what the goal of your campaign is, whether that's booking calls or getting people to show up to demos or webinars or recovering abandoned Shopify carts or anything else, the structure remains the same. In the first part of your text, add context as to the event that your lead has just taken or previously taken with your business. And in the second part of your text, ask a question to your lead related to what you added as context that's stupidly easy for your lead to answer yes to. Let's take a look at a few examples and then I'll explain why they work. So example 1, real estate. I got your form about selling your home in Burlington. Needs to be sold by April, yeah? Example 2, coaching agency and gyms. Just got your request for the nutrition playbook. The playbook is in your inbox now, yeah? Example 3, SaaS. I saw you just subscribed for a free trial with us. You downloaded the program, yeah? Example 4, appointments. We're locked in for Tuesday 10 a.m. I could send you a video of what we'll talk about here, yeah? You probably noticed that in none of these texts are we pitching the offer directly. Instead, we're getting the lead to engage first by saying something as little as a yes. And once they reply, we have their attention, and that's when we can move into the pitch. The response becomes our way in, which leads to a conversation. And from there, text by text, we guide them towards an action. Whether that means asking a few qualifying questions or going straight into booking a call or presenting the offer. This is the key shift moving into 2026 for SMS marketing. Using SMS to just broadcast what you have to offer or sell no longer works. Leads ignore them, and carriers are far less likely to deliver those messages in the first place. We need to move to a conversation-first model where the initial goal of your script is to simply get a small amount of engagement and capture attention and then transition into the pitch. If we look back at the examples we just wrote, you can see how each one of these scripts leads into a real conversation that ultimately gives the business space to present its offer. Let's take a look at the real estate example here, but feel free to pause the video and review the other examples if they're more relevant to your niche. So in the real estate example, we introduced ourselves using the proper format, and it was very predictable that the lead would respond yes to our second text because, well, the question that we asked was intentionally easy to answer and based off of information that they already submitted in the lead magnet form. And so from there, you could see that we took the time to ask 3 follow-up questions to further nurture the relationship before finally pitching a request to book a call, which the lead ends up doing. Now, keep in mind that most of these text messages were actually sent through a workflow that I built inside of SendBlue. But to our lead, they would never think that this was an automation because the text messages followed the right script structure and they were sent as iMessages. So as a bonus, I also want to show you what I do if the lead doesn't reply at all. One of the most effective follow-up messages is sending a message about 1 hour later that simply says, "Is this prospect name?" It might sound overly simple, but this works extremely well. When someone sees that type of message on their lock screen, curiosity just kicks in. They open the text, they see your previous messages, and oftentimes they respond with, "Yes, it is." And at that point, well, you're in. So there you have it. That's the SMS script that you could use to book more sales calls or generate more sales through text for your business in 2026. And to execute this properly, you do need a sending tool that uses iMessage as its primary channel, because if you're still using a regular SMS platform like Twilio, you'll be forced to include the opt-out language, and you'll even get charged double to send out 2 texts instead of 1. So if you want to better understand the difference between standard green SMS texts and sending out blue iMessage texts that actually get responses, you could check out this breakdown video that I'll put up right here up on the screen. And if you're convinced already that sending iMessages is the way to go in 2026, because, well, it is, you could get set up right now by checking out the link that I've tagged in the description section and the comment section of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in that video or in that link.